Okay, Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kafarash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the millstone that do well. Peace, blessing, salutation for all you brothers doing this work, the truth, sincerity, and always in charity. All right, I'm the brother Malaka from the millstone camp, the church out in Des Moines, Iowa. With another lesson, just coming in, I was reading in the book of Philippians, and I told myself that I wanted to do this lesson. So I really wake up early, come over by the water, meditate a little bit, and Lord willing, I hope and I pray that this be edifying. Nothing too long or drawn out, just quick to the point. Okay, we'll start off with the book of Philippians. The book of Philippians, chapter 1, and verse 27. Okay, it says, and I hope you brothers can hear me all right. I know it's a little low. Let me bring the camera closer. Yeah, low when you brothers can hear me all right. But Philippians 1 and 27. Okay, it says, only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Mashiach, that would I come and see you, or else be absent, that I may hear of your affairs, and ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Okay, so here you have it. The apostle clearly said, just to reiterate the point, it says, whether I be absent or whether I come and see you. Which mimics, right? Let me see here. Mimics the next chapter. Oh, just that same chapter. Like, it mimics what he said a little higher up, right? When we read verse 12. So this Philippians. Oh yeah, next chapter, like Philippians 2 and 12. Okay? And it says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, right? Not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and with trembling. Okay? So he's saying now much more in my absence. Right, but see, that's the point about being sincere within this walk. Okay, you gotta be sincere in this thing, man. I'm using this little old tablet, so Bible shall bear with me. Okay. Sincere. Got adjective and noun. So the adjective says pure, unmixed, unadulterated, free from pretense or falsehood. See, free from falsehood. Sincere. Whole, clean, pure, uninjured, unmixed, genuine, pure, true, candid, truthful. So walking truthfully in this thing, without falsehood, free from falsehood. The apostles, they speak of, especially Prophet Gabar, he speaks about that whole cult of personality. You putting on a facade of being a man of the Lord, right? You putting on a facade of being a brother that believes in Yahweh Basham Yahushai, or a facade of you being a brother of us. Let me not say you, but of us being brothers that show forth that brotherly love. But then when you get around just brothers by themselves, privileged, now you're not doing those same things. A brother might call you, you get stuck in a jam, now you're not helping him out. Just worried about yourself. Nah, brother, I'm busy. Oh, but if an elder was there, if a camp head was there, you know, you'd be the first one. Oh, yep, yeah, brother. Yeah, come on, brother. Yeah. And amongst other things. Because it said what? A conversation in the Philippians 1. It says, let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Mashiach. Well, we could read the gospel. We could read the different characteristics, that our Lord Yahweh Shai had. And we could read the different fruits of the Spirit. All right, so when we read those things, we should embody them. It says, what? That it becometh the gospel. That whether I'm here with you or else I'm absent, that I can hear of it. See, the scriptures speak about this. It speaks about walking in wisdom toward them that are without. It speaks about, let me see if I can find it. Satan on these flies, man. I feel like it's gonna go slow. Okay, Titus. Yep, Titus. Titus 1:9. Yep, this is the book of Titus, chapter 1. And yeah, just to the point, for like is Titus 1:9. It says, holding fast the faithful word as you have been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine, right? That he may be able by sound doctrine to both exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Okay, for there are many ruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. All right, but the point being that what? To win the gainsayer, right? To convince the gainsayer. By what? By walking in sound doctrine, holding fast that faith. You see, because that's something that I had mentioned in my previous lesson, even with the apostles. Right? It speaks about the apostles and how when they saw them, they perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. But nevertheless, when they seen their boldness, when they heard what they were preaching, how they talked, how they walked, the way they moved and conducted themselves, they couldn't negate the fact that these men had walked with Yahweh Shai. See, and it's the same thing with each and every last brother. So when we're looking at ourselves and when we're going amidst our walk, not only with brothers, but how much more when we're absent from them, is walking in that wisdom, embodying the gospel of Mashiach, as it said in that Philippians. That the ministry be blameless, that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai see praise. And see, that's the thing, and that's something the brothers back home, they've been pushing for a while. Since I came around, it was always what? Hey, when people look at us, man, they should see a reflection of Yahweh Shai. You had that one chick, I believe it was on TikTok. She was going into the different, the coppersmith, the gold, the smiths, and how they fashion these metals, how they remove the dross from them. They got to put them in the fire, take them out, let them cool down a bit, put them back in the fire, so on and so forth. and they had asked her, well, basically, how do you know when something is purified, when the dross is completely removed? And she said that the smith replied, that part's easy. I know that it's done. I know that it's finished when I can see my reflection in it. And it's the same thing with the Lord, man. See, the Lord puts us in these different predicaments. He puts us in these different tests, trials, tribulations, these different things to overcome that are all tests for us. And they're all meant to what? To purify us. They're all meant to purify us. Okay? So that we can reason, it says, as gold is tried in the furnace, so are acceptable men in a furnace of adversity. Roughly paraphrasing. A trial of a man is in his reasoning. So the way that we reason, the way that we move after those situations come, is what separates us, is what helps purify us and better us to move on to the next level, move on to the next level, move on to the next level. But see, when we're in those situations, we have an example, which again, in that Philippians, it says embodying the gospel. So we have what? We have the gospel. And not only the gospel, but we have the whole books. Because Yahushua is that gospel. Yahushua is the good news, right? He said, lo, I come in a volume of the book that is written of me. So we have Yahushua as an example. And that's the precept, man. That's the scripture. It says, let me see if I can pull it up. It says here, okay, this is Hebrews. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and verse 11. It says, now no chastening of the present seemeth to be joyous but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness to them which are exercised thereby. So those chastenings, in whatever form they come in, they're meant to exercise us. It's just like with physical exercise, what? You put your body through something strenuous. It hurts within a moment. It hurts when you're, even after, when you're recovering from it. And that's these different things that happen to us, man. Certain shit hurts, man. You go through certain things, whether it be personal, bodily, whatever the case may be. Because first and foremost, we're fighting in the spirit. It's a spiritual warfare. But all these things that happen, man, they come with pain. The Apostle Kabar brought it out once. And man, it always stuck. There's a quote. It says, comfortability and growth cannot coexist. Comfortability and growth cannot coexist. And that's facts, man. Because you see it in this mortal flesh, this wicked ass flesh, it desires comfort. It's constantly seeking comfort. It wants, it craves, it desires, it lusts after comfort. But you see, within the spirit, that's the whole thing. Because what does it say in Wisdom of Solomon? It calls it the Holy Spirit of discipline. It says the Holy Spirit of discipline shall flee a malicious soul, roughly paraphrasing. So you see, our body craves, it desires that comfort, but our spirit demands discipline. Okay, our flesh desires comfort, but our spirit demands discipline. But yeah, Salaki, back to the point is, after you go through that strenuous physical activity, what happens is that you grow, you become bigger, you become stronger. So now the next time that you go lift up those same weights or something similar to that weight, it becomes easier and easier over time. Well, that's this walk within this ministry. That's this walk of faith. See, there's different levels. There's different levels to how you increase in spirit. You know, different demons, different spiritual demons that you got to deal with that present themselves, heavier things, man. It might be something that you got to fast 2-3 days off of, you know, or you got to constantly pray about a certain thing, or you know, whatever the case may be. Might have brothers anoint you, pray over you, because it's a whole different level of demons that you got to fight off now. All right, but back in Hebrews 12:12, it says, "Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out the way, but rather it be healed." Okay. And Salaki, that's not even what I wanted to read. Salaki, I wanted to read 12 and 1. Hey, but hey, you know, it's all the spirit, man. But Hebrews 12:1, it says, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed," and it's a beautiful point right here, compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So it says that we're compassed with a great cloud of witnesses. So there's constantly people watching, man. Constantly people watching. And how much more when we're trying to serve the Lord, how many people are just waiting for you to slip up? And that goes back to what the brother Murph said, man. You know, the brother Jeremiah down from Chicago, he said, man, don't prove these people right. Because they're looking for your downfall. They're looking for you to fall out the faith. They're looking, the so-and-so said now he's serving the Lord. Yeah, that's just a phase. Oh, it'll go away. Man, he can't do that. He's tripping. You know, don't prove them right, but prove them wrong. And we can do all things through Yahweh Shai. You know, and again, that's the faith that we have within ourselves. It says we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but them that believe to the saving of the soul, man. You know, so fuck them. And we're going to continue in this thing. But the point is that there's a great cloud of witnesses. There's people watching. So how ought we to conduct ourselves? Right? 2 Peter. Seeing that all these things are going to be dissolved, and seeing that these people are even watching us, you know, yeah, I don't know, you could link those two. But it says, what manner of persons ought we to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening to the coming of Mashiach. Okay, but back in Hebrews 12:2, it says, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame. And that cross was his ultimate trial, you know? And it says that he endured it. He was made hardened by it. Because that word endure, endurecer, means to be made hard. And that's how you say it in the Spanish, endurecer. It literally means to be made hard. You know, so you're being perfected. We're being perfected. We're being made stronger through these things that we go through, right? But it says that he endured, he endured the cross, despising the shame. And when you go to that word despising, it goes into think little of or not regard. You see the outcome of the situation was way greater than the situation itself. And I hope that makes sense. You know, in the world, in business, you call it risk and reward. You look at what you got to go through, but then you look at the ultimate objective and what is going to result as an outcome of those things. And it makes the process much easier because you know where you're going to. You understand where you're going. It's like I said with bodybuilding, right? Okay, I'm trying to look like the pastor. I'm trying to look diesel. Right? I'm trying to look like Arnold. So you got a picture, you got the image, you understand what the end goal is, what's gonna result, what the outcome is gonna be. So now when you go through those sufferings, when you go put in that work, it makes it easier. It makes it more bearable because you got that in mind. Well, that's what it says about Yahushua. You see, for Yahushua, him going upon the cross, him suffering for us, it says that he despised the shame. Why? Because he understood what would result as an outcome. And look at where we're at now, brothers. You got brothers all over the world waking up. You got brothers returning unto the Lord, calling upon his holy name. You got brothers that got children, and these children are being raised up within the customs, knowing their true heritage. You know, having actual Hebrew names, man. We're able to pray to the Lord in the Lashuan Kodash. We have repented and returned unto him. You know, and ultimately that was all prophesied to happen, and that was meant to happen, so that what? When the Lord returns, hey, Lord willing, as it says, if you be partakers, that you shall be joint heirs. So Lord willing, when he returns, we're able also to partake in his glory, just as we have partook within his sufferings, man. And that's why it's a joy. It speaks about the apostles, how they counted this thing a joy to suffer for his name's sake. But verse 2 again, it says, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. For consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest he be weary and faint in your own minds. So when we start to wane in faith, when we start to lose kind of sight of those things, we ought to remember and consider our Lord, how he went through those things for us, man, so that we may be strengthened. And it speaks about that, you know, and that's the ultimate strength. That's why it says the things written aforetime are written for our learning, that we, through patience and hope, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Okay, we might have hope. Blessed is he who readeth. These things are all an example for us. They're meant for us to read, to be strengthened, to be encouraged, to be uplifted, to continue to press on towards that mark. Okay, let's see the next precept. I want to get his 2 Corinthians. Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, ye are our epistle. I'll start at verse 1. It says, do we begin again to commend ourselves, or need we as others epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? We are our epistle, written in heart, known and read of men. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Mashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living power, not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. So that's truly embodying this gospel. That's truly walking in the Spirit. Okay, and the last precept I wanted to get, I'll close it out with this, is 1 John. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 6, straight to the point. It says, he that saith he abideth in him ought himself also to walk as he walked. So again, when people look at us, our conduct, the way we carry ourselves, whether we're around brothers, whether we're by ourselves, no matter what, that's the thing, man. The Spirit of the Lord is upon us, and we ought to continue in that conduct. The Lord is with us at all times. He said, Lord, I am with you even to the end of the world, a month. So be mindful of these things and continuing in the faith, man. All right? And so, Lord willing, I hope and I pray that this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Akakwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, salutations for all you brothers doing this work in true sincerity and always in charity. Shalom.